שלנו, we don't want you, go! ירושלים שלנו, לכו מפה, גברו אותנו!
Have you ever wondered about predictions regarding the Jewish Messiah's arrival? Is Jesus the Jewish Messiah? Well, it is said that a prominent rabbi believes that Benjamin Netanyahu, the former Israeli prime minister, will reveal the long-awaited Messiah next month. I'm curious to know more, so let's dive into this video today to uncover all the fascinating details. The Messiah in Judaism is like a special person who will come one day to save and free the Jewish people. They believe this Messiah will be a king or a religious leader who gets blessed with holy oil. This idea came from Judaism, and in their holy book they talk about kings and leaders being called messiahs. But it's not only in Jewish history. A king named Cyrus the Great in the past was even called a messiah because he helped rebuild the Jerusalem temple. In Jewish beliefs, the Messiah will be a future Jewish king from the family of King David. They think this person will also get blessed with holy oil and lead the Jewish people during a special time called the Messianic Age. People often call this expected leader the King Messiah. This idea of the Messiah influenced the start of Christianity, which began as a group of Jewish people who believed in a Messiah during the time of the Second Temple. The criteria to be fulfilled by the Jewish Messiah. Jewish teachings don't use the word Messiah like we often hear. Instead, they say Moshiach, which means anointed. But still, they have a strong belief in someone special called the Messiah. This belief comes from God's teachings to the Jewish people, so they know best about who this Messiah should be. They find evidence of the Messiah in their holy books, like the Bible. Firstly, the Messiah must be Jewish, as mentioned in verses Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15. Secondly, the Messiah has to come from the tribe of Judah and be a direct descendant of King David and King Solomon, as mentioned in Genesis 49, 10, Psalms 89, 2:9-38, Jeremiah 33:17. Next, the Messiah's job is to bring back Jewish people who were scattered and bring them back to Israel, as described in Isaiah 27, 1-13, and Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12. Fourthly, the Messiah needs to rebuild the Jewish temple in Jerusalem, which is mentioned in Micah chapter 4, verse 1. Next, the Messiah is expected to bring peace to the world, as mentioned in Isaiah chapter 2, verse 4, Isaiah chapter 11, verse 6, and Micah chapter 4, verse 3. Lastly, the Messiah should make everyone believe in and serve one God. This grand mission can be seen in passages like Isaiah chapter 11, verse 9, Isaiah chapter 40, verse 5, and Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. All these Messiah criteria are neatly summarized in Ezekiel's book in the Bible, specifically in chapters 37, verses 24-28. It talks about how the Messiah, often called my servant David, will be king over the Jewish people. They will follow God's laws and there will be lasting peace. Like a holy place, the sanctuary will be with them forever, and the world will recognize that God is with the Jewish people. How Judaism has considered Jesus. Judaism doesn't believe that Jesus from Nazareth was the Messiah or the Son of God. According to Jewish beliefs, how Christians see Jesus doesn't match with what they think about God's oneness. To them, worshiping a person like Jesus is like worshiping idols, which is a big no. So in Judaism, considering Jesus as a god is not allowed. Judaism rejects Jesus as the Messiah from their ideas about the future. They think the real Messiah will bring about things that haven't happened yet, like rebuilding the temple, bringing a time of peace called the Messianic Age, and bringing all Jewish people back to their homeland. In history, some Jewish writers and scholars didn't have good things to say about Jesus. They saw him as a false prophet, and their opinions about Jesus were mostly negative. But during the Middle Ages, some important Jewish scholars like Judah Halevi and Maimonides saw Jesus as someone who prepared the way for a future time when everyone would believe in one God and act ethically. Some modern Jewish thinkers, starting in the 18th century with Jacob Emden and Moses Mendelssohn, thought that maybe Jesus was more like a Jewish person than what the Gospels or traditional Jewish stories say. Why could Jesus not have been the Jewish Messiah? When we look at these rules closely, we see that Jesus was Jewish but didn't meet the other rules. One big problem is his family tree. The New Testament says Jesus didn't have a human dad. But Jewish beliefs say your family and tribe are decided by your dad. And Jesus can't be from the tribe of Judah or from King David and King Solomon because of this. There are more issues with trying to prove Jesus' family through Joseph, who was Mary's husband, Jesus' mom. The New Testament says Joseph came from King Jeconiah, who was cursed in the Jewish Bible to never have a descendant ruling on David's throne. So even if Jesus got his family line from Joseph, it would make him even less likely to be the Messiah. Lastly, there's a big problem with how Jesus' family tree is written in Matthew chapter 1 and Luke chapter 3. Some Christians say Luke's list is about Jesus' mom, Mary. But this doesn't make sense even in the original Greek version. And remember, Jewish beliefs say your family comes from your dad, so tracing it through your mom doesn't count. Even if we could do that, Luke 3:31 says Mary is from a different part of King David's family, not the one the Jewish Bible says the Messiah should come from. The other rules, like bringing peace or making everyone believe in one God, haven't happened either, both in Jesus' time and afterward. Some Christians might say these things will happen when Jesus comes back a second time, but this idea doesn't come from the Bible. So according to Jewish beliefs, Jesus doesn't meet the criteria to be the Messiah. Did Jesus reject Judaism? Some parts of the Gospels might seem to go against Jewish beliefs. Mark says Jesus called some forbidden foods clean, but it's unclear what he meant. Jesus and his early followers still followed Jewish rules. The New Testament says Jesus is equal to God, which doesn't match Jewish belief in one God. Some Jewish people back then thought God could become human, and some saw Jesus as an angel. There are Jewish texts mentioning Jesus. Josephus, a historian, talked about him. But later Christians may have added to his writings. The Talmud mentions Yeshu, possibly Jesus, and once said he was hanged before Passover for leading Jews astray. But this was later removed because it hurt Jews. Toledat Yeshu's book tells a different story about Jesus, but isn't widely known in Judaism. Maimonides, a famous Jewish scholar, said Jesus wasn't the Messiah but caused harm to Jews. He believed Jesus led to Jewish deaths and exile, changed the Torah, and made people worship a false god. What does the rabbi believe? Rabbi Berger thinks that there's a special event in the sky that fulfills an old prophecy in Numbers 24, verse 17. This prophecy talks about a star coming from Jacob and a scepter rising from Israel. It's believed to show that the Messiah is coming. Rabbi Berger looked at Rabbi Moses ben Maimon, who lived in the 12th century and was a famous Torah scholar. He said this verse is proof that the Messiah will come, and the star mentioned in the prophecy will come from the tribe of Judah, from Jacob's family. Rabbi Berger also talked about the Zohar, which is an important work in Jewish mysticism. It talks about what the stars will look like when the Messiah comes. The Zohar says that there will be several stars appearing, and it describes their colors and details. This prediction by Rabbi Berger has excited both Jewish and Christian people, especially those who believe in Jesus as the Messiah's return. They think this prophecy could be about Jesus coming again. But some people are not so sure and say there have been many predictions about the Messiah that didn't come true in the past. An amateur astronomer, Ira Makevsky, mentioned how important astronomy and astrology are in Jewish mysticism. They see celestial events as signs from God. Astronomers also got excited about the prediction, especially the idea of a red nova explosion, which they think could be a unique chance to see a star being born. What do you think of the Jewish Messiah? Comment below and subscribe for more.